It is said that in the earliest days of human existence, they lived much like wild animals, organized in small family groups that competed fiercely for food and shelter. Over time, driven by the need for resources and a curiosity of their surroundings, these groups began to move north from the cradle of humanity located in southern Africa. They were hunters, traveling the land in search of food and shelter, never settling and always fearful of the animals around them. They existed like this for thousands of years, at one with the earth. As humans emerged from their hunter-gatherer existence to form early societies, they banded together in larger family groups to form small dwellings. In these new settlements, they lived in harmony with the surrounding environment and the various animals that inhabited it. Their approach to nature was one of respect and balance, as they hunted only what was necessary for their survival and cultivated crops that would sustain their growing populations. This way of life provided security and comfort, as living in larger groups provided better protection against threats and allowed for social connections. These early societies laid the groundwork for more complex social structures, as collaboration and shared responsibilities became essential to surviving and thriving in their new way of life. As the populations grew in number and more advanced technologies were discovered, better weapons were forged and the act of killing became more efficient. Hunting wild animals became less dangerous. Humans could now build and sail in large boats and fish the seas for food. They traveled hundreds of miles to other lands and discovered other humans. They also found new animals to kill. The small villages grew into towns and over time into cities. Empires were built and fought against one another for land, slaves, and resources. In the ancient societies, huge monuments were constructed by rulers as a demonstration of their immense power and wealth, becoming iconic symbols of their reign. The more educated and learned members of the elite classes documented tales of military conquests and triumphant victories. These stories not only glorified the rulers' achievements, but served to reinforce their authority over the masses. Pantheons of gods were created. Access to the high priests, who were believed to communicate with the gods, was typically reserved for the highborn, further solidifying their superior status. Meanwhile, common citizens were told that they had to obey, stay in line and worship, pay taxes and offer all they had to the gods. As the years rolled by, the human population expanded significantly, eventually inhabiting all corners of the earth. In their quest for advancement and resources, they continuously developed new methods to engage in conflict, cause destruction, and seize what they desired. The wild animals of the planet suffered. Among the most affected were great whales, which faced the brink of extinction because of extensive hunting practices. Many other species were completely eradicated, vanishing from the landscape forever, never again to roam in the wild. Humans had a hunger for meat. The animals they slaughtered were farmed in ever-increasing numbers. Large areas of land were taken up to graze them. Others were kept in huge buildings, never seeing the natural light the sun provided. The animals were bred for their meat, often changing them so they became unrecognizable from their original form. Crops were grown in fields that stretched for miles. Any natural barriers or vegetation that encroached on the valuable crops were torn from the ground and destroyed. As the humans became more advanced, they developed ways of engineering the crops, so they grew stronger and yielded larger bounties for the farmers. They sprayed chemicals on the plants to kill any unwanted insects, infecting the land and water as they did so. Huge areas of rainforest were cut down to provide space to grow crops and graze cattle. Fires were set to burn the trees, filling the atmosphere with toxic smoke and gases. Wars raged over the earth by dictatorial leaders, desperate to go down in history as great saviors of their people, bringing them glory and adulation. They dictated to the masses how they should work, behave, and even dictated how they should think. As human populations grew, the wild animals declined, persecuted and blamed for using up valuable land. They were hunted, trapped, and killed. The decline in species intensified. Humans developed new ways of killing using biological and chemical weapons. The animals suffered and populations declined. Before the end, man had long thought himself the master of Earth and space. The wanton destruction of the land in the pursuit of valuable resources, the polluting of the seas and the mass killing of species, to the point of extinction. The growing cities expanded and swallowed up natural habitats, leaving tiny fragments of land for wild animals to inhabit. Before the end, humanity considered itself the dominant species over Earth, and even ventured into space, believing it had mastered its control over the planet. This false sense of mastery led to wanton destruction of the environment in the relentless quest for valuable resources, alongside the significant pollution of oceans and the increased extermination of various species, pushing many to the brink of extinction. At the height of human development, they achieved the remarkable feat of creating artificial life. Advanced machines were developed that could produce objects without human interference. It was an era of unprecedented efficiency and innovation. These machines were not only capable of operating independently, but possessed the ability to communicate and learn, engaging with humans at an equal level of understanding. They were equipped with sophisticated mobility, allowing them to walk and move freely. As warfare and pollution ravaged the planet, the toxic chemicals and weaponry designed to eliminate wildlife started to have devastating effects on domesticated animals. This unintended consequence led to a significant decline in livestock populations, which in turn threatened food security for humans. Large swathes of once fertile land became barren and dry, suffering from the impacts of neglect and the overuse of harmful substances. These conditions exacerbated the already dire situation, turning vast areas of the earth into uninhabitable deserts and leaving a grim legacy of human recklessness towards the very land that sustained them. The deterioration of natural and cultivated ecosystems tipped the fragile balance where the effects of human actions started to reshape the land in disastrous ways. Mother Nature had designs of her own. The Beginning and Demise of Humans, Book 1, Miller's History.